Aside from a company introduction, I want to talk to you about what we see as the future of fintech, the evolution to this thing called the Internet of Value. So allow me to take you through this narrative. So first of all, what is Fifth9? First of all, we call ourselves a mature startup. We've been around for 10 years. Our core business used to be professional services. We've been delivering management consulting services in the tech industry for more than a decade. About 2 years ago, we had some bright ideas, over a couple of years actually. And we turned around and said, well, we need to pivot towards a product company. So we started to look at disruptive tech, predominantly in blockchain, RPA, digital twins, machine learning, the usual subjects, and started to gravitate towards some of those technologies which started to excite us a little bit. But we're all about solving business problems. We don't start with the solution and then work backwards saying, let me find a problem to solve. So our initial story started off where we had a bucket of these products, and then in a proactive manner we worked with a very close knit of clientele to find out whether these instruments of change made sense for their business problems. And this is where we are right now. We find ourselves in the smack bang middle of the Internet of Things. We find ourselves in the middle of digital transformation. And where fintech lies, we find ourselves in this Internet of Value. So from an Internet of Things story, what's the fintech opportunity? Well, our big message is that Internet of Things, everyone understands it. Machines communicating with servers, communicating with other machines to try to realize some sort of low friction use case. Where we find that this is evolving is that these things will start to take a monetization life of their own. And that's where fintech starts and potentially could be the heart of this. We know that there's 23 million cars. We know that there's more than 500 million smart meters. We know that the cellular connections, the Wi-Fi connections are so huge that by 2025, Gartner says that there'll be 70 billion connected things. Now, what's the opportunity? We know that there are more connected devices than there are people. We can see that with the Internet of Things, with fintech, we can create this Internet of Value. And what is this Internet of Value? We think that instead of things simply being dumb connectivity modules, that these things through technologies such as blockchain and through machine learning can start to self-finance. They can start to create a variable dynamic flow of insurance. If you can imagine an Airbnb house based on the ecosystem of how it is used, how it is hired out, how it is maintained, its insurance waxes and wanes through the seasons, and that's self-regulated. That digital asset starts to create its own transactions. So for us, we believe that there's a marketplace of things. And I talk about the marketplace of things because we've actually built one. We call it the Digital Asset Exchange. We actually built this proactively for one of our clients. It's a story that goes about where an Internet of Things, a device like a car, wants to actually exchange and transact with other metrics, and the end user of that digital asset wants to be monetized. So you've got a car that effectively can talk to a smart parking sensor that can exchange its data, can exchange tokens across a heterogeneous blockchain. You've got assets that sit off-chain, on-chain. We've got a fairly reasonable wallet story here, but this has been built for a specific private blockchain ecosystem. We are working on something called Smart Citizen. We call it Mzansi. Mzansi, I'm South African. Mzansi means the South. And what this is it's trying to empower local citizens. It tries to give them a sense of using an interaction with a mobile phone to create value. Of course, it uses tokens to incentivize change. But the idea behind this particular use case 3 that I play up here is where the Internet of Things is starting to provide sensor information. These individuals enroll and take, they take pride in using their day-to-day transactions and interactions with the public ecosystem to understand this public tender's gone out, has the bridge been built? And if the bridge hasn't been built and I get 10,000 consensus points, maybe the tenderer doesn't get paid his next check. maybe I can get rewarded for doing good. So this smart citizen story is starting to take form. We started to engage a lot of the local regulations in South Africa to actually form a vision behind this. I'll leave you with something that our 29 vision talks about, this thing called block cubes. 6 facets of a block. We want to deliver services that talk about smart city, a safe city. We talk about the digital supply chain. We've actually got a proof of concept running with the digital supply chain right now, which is available as a white label in the marketplace. We're working with some African countries on trying to create a digital land registry for assets. As a proactive means, our own people have decided that there's a very clever idea on how to create IPR in a blockchain ledger. We're using AI and machine learning to cement and solidify the interactions of building upon ideas using the shoulders of giants. We have a mobile-powered digital ID, very similar to the previous presentation, talking about how to empower millions of unbanked and uncertified users in deep dark Africa. And because we have a digital law practice, we are GDPR compliant in all our blockchain capabilities. So again, our main story, if I can leave you with something, is that the Internet of Value is, we believe, is the new wave of digital transformation. That fintech today needs to become a more horizontal power play. Because today we see usage-based insurance and healthcare giving you a free watch in the hope that you're going to go to the gym. That you put this device in your car and you'll change your driving behavior. But these are siloed vertical fintech solutions. There is no horizontal power play. And so that's the story I'd like to leave you. Thank you for your time.